Hello, good afternoon. Could
Good
I
afternoon.
please have your full name, please?
My name is Antonio Gargiulo.
Could I see your identification?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay. Um, great. Now, in this first part, Antonio, I'm going to ask you some general questions about yourself. Do you enjoy traveling?
Yeah, I enjoy traveling a lot. Uh, I've been traveling in lots of countries, most of Europe.
Have you? Okay. Have you done much traveling?
Um, not much as I want to. I traveled in all the main countries in Europe, and also in few countries outside of it. I like to travel more.
Okay. Do you think it's better to travel alone or with people?
I well, it's an interesting point because there are two really big, two really different type of traveling. I don't prefer one of them, but I think you should try at least once, one with friends or without.
Okay. And why is that?
Because most of the travel I did were with friends, and I had a great time. But a couple, 2 or 3 times, I also traveled by myself. Also, the one of the first travel I did was at 18 years old, and I went to Germany to have a tattoo. And I was alone. I went there by train. It was great.
Okay. Where would you like to travel in future?
Mostly outside of Europe. Like I'd like to see Asian countries and also South America. Also USA. I think the flights are getting year after year cheaper. So maybe I will do it. I hope so.
Okay. Um, moving on. Let's move on to talk about your um, accommodation. Tell me
Mhm.
about the kind of accommodation you live in.
Well, now I'm living in a house. It was my family house. I have my room here, basically where I spend most of the time when I'm at home. Is the house where I grew up in. Um, yeah, I think it's a really nice house, nice apartment in a
Okay.
in a. Mhm.
How long have you lived there?
Well, for the last 20 years, more or less, because I was born in the south of Italy, in Naples, and then my family moved here in Rome, in another apartment, and after a few years, we moved here. So I spent more or less 20 years here.
What do you like about living there?
Uh, it's not a central central neighborhood of Rome, but maybe it's also nice to be here because it's not a tourist area, but you can find basically everything, and and there is one of the biggest park in Rome, one of the most beautiful. So this is a thing that I really appreciate about the neighborhood. And it's few minutes walking from the apartment, so it's a great thing. I grew up in that park.
Okay. And what sort of accommodation would you like to live in?
Well, I like to live in apartment by myself, or maybe also a room in an apartment, share with some friends, would be one of the best accommodation I can think about. So yeah, like I love to share. I love to share an apartment with my friends or with other people.
Okay, thank you. In this
You're
next part, you're going to prepare a short talk about a certain topic. You have 1 minute to prepare your talk, and then you must speak for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, here's a pen and paper to prepare your notes.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is your topic. Okay, you may begin preparing now.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you may begin speaking now. You have 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, thanks. A child de Renault. When I think about a child de Renault, one of the first one that comes to mind is Martina. She's less than 1 years old, more or less 1 year old. Is Paolo's daughter, and Paolo is one of my best friends. And she's, I think, he's the first friend of mine, so friend that I grew up with, that had a son, a daughter. So it's really important, like for all of us, or all of friend of mine. She's really little and beautiful. So, and it's really funny to be there in their house with they also have 2 dogs, so it's a funny situation. When we are with her, me and my friends or my girlfriend, we always have great time, and we don't think about anything else, maybe just because it's really a great thing, an important thing for us, that one of our friends has a son. Also strange to imagine. And yeah, we go there to Paolo's house maybe one a month, one or every 2 months, something like that. Also, but maybe also because
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, and so could you tell me what does what does his father think about having a child?
Sorry? Could you
What
repeat, please?
yeah, what does this child's father think about having a child?
Well, Paolo always has been a person that used to make things that are for older people than him, and so I think it really came natural for him to start making a family, and he's 23 years old, 24. So, and he's the first one of us. But he used to work when he was in high school, so he always had been like that. And he also searched for having a child and a family. He wanted it. So I'm just happy for him, and I think he's happy about it.
Okay, let's move on to talk about relationships between parents and children.
Mm-hmm.
How much time do you spend with parents in your country, with your parents?
Well, in recently more than it used to be, just because after university and during my last year of university, I started working in a small family business, and there is we have a bed and breakfast. We are restoring an apartment to do another one, and I managed everything for the bed and breakfast, but my father made the investment. So I'm spending lots of more time mostly with my father. Before then, no, not as much time as I'm spending nowadays. And with my mother, yeah, we live in the same apartment, but sometimes we don't see each other for also a week, because we have really different lives, and I work and I used to study, so.
Okay, and how important do you think spending time together is for the relationships between parents and children?
Well, I think time is one of the biggest factors, because if you share experience, if you talk, if you spend time, basically, it's really important, and you grow up as a family when you're a child, but also it's important to for have some interest in common, and sharing your experience, and also have some tips from them. So I think it's really important to spend time and to stay together.
Okay, and have relationships between, would you say relationships between parents and children have changed in recent years?
It's an interesting question, and I think, in my opinion, yes, it is changed. I'm saying that just by seeing maybe the relationship from my mother and her grandmother, maybe. So beside from the person, because everyone is different, I think the relationship is quite different. Nowadays, maybe you are more free to say what you think, and I think that it used not to be like that. So you had to. It was more about the respect, and you see, maybe as an instance, like patriarchal families, like where the father makes the rule and works, and nothing more than that. So I think now relationships are better, and also deeper.
Let's move on to talk about children's free time activities.
Mm-hmm.
What are the most popular free time activities with children today?
Well, I think nowadays I hope it's a sport, and maybe it is. It definitely used to be, at least. Now maybe also during and after, I hope the COVID pandemic situation is more focused. The free time is more focused in virtual activities, so video games, or just spend time on computers. But for children, I think one of the most common and also important free time activity is sport, or just being doing open air activities.
Okay. Do you think the free time activities children do today are good for their health? Oh, sorry. I just realised our time is up. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Antonio.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Awesome. All right. You can take a breather now. Yeah. Have a little relax. Me too, as well, because it's quite hard to listen and write and sort of judge everything at the same time. But
imagine.
Even more difficult for you, I imagine. Like in a stressful situation.
Yeah, sure, man. I don't know. I'm getting used to.
Yeah. You seem very relaxed when you do it. So, yeah. Like
I think I'm quite relaxed. Yeah, I hope it's useful to do actually a test, like a practice test.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Okay, so how did you think you did? What would you say your main? Well, yeah. Just talk me through how you think you did there.
Well, maybe as the writing, if I knew some words, then maybe I know, but they don't come easily. If I had it more, if I was more confident with some words, I would be also more fluent speaking. Because sometimes I think I stop a little bit just to think about a word or something to explain better what I'm trying to say. So sometimes I just paraphrase it and then say simple words. Like I'm trying to avoid to say thing or do. And I think it's a good thing because it comes natural. Like after the tips you told me, after I try to not say simple word.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I'm trying to paraphrase something, it's also difficult to not say simple things, and also, but I'm also about that. I'm getting used to it, to make up, to say something about some arguments that I'm not used to. Also, how often you see a child. The main answer is like maybe never. I don't know. I don't see a lot of childs of lots of children.
Yeah.
So
was that true about your friend, or was that
more or less?
It doesn't need to be true,
Yeah. Everything was true. Just that I saw Martina, Paul's daughter, maybe 2 or 3 times. Not often, as I said. But
that's cool.
Just to speak and.
No, definitely. Like students always ask me, "Oh, teacher, does it have to be true?" And it doesn't really. It's just about the language, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah. Just everything else is true. Also because it's different to make up. All a big story.
That's why I asked, because it seemed like you really knew that family. So yeah, it sounded legit.
I knew them, and I grew up with him, and everything was true. Just that I see Martina, I think 2 times. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So what would you say your main strength was in the criteria? So you have fluency and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation.
Well, I hope, well, grammatical accuracy. I think cohesion, I hope, just because I think I understood the questions and I answered to them without going off topic. Yeah, so cohesion I think is a strength. Maybe grammar accuracy, but I had to rewatch like a video of me like a recording to be sure. But
well, good news, because I'm recording these lessons and I'm putting them on YouTube. So I've already posted one on YouTube. So I'll send you the channel so you can rewatch.
Great,
it.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like analyze, rewatch, and analyze.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, but I think grammar accuracy, but just because I think that lots of verbs, of tenses just came natural to use. So maybe I used that wrongly. I don't know, but maybe I don't know. Maybe grammar accuracy about tenses.
Okay, that sorry, was so you were saying that was a strength or a strength? Okay, cool,
Yeah.
Cool. And how about areas you could improve? What do you think your weaknesses are?
As I said, the lexical resources, because I know that sometimes I say maybe a less common word, and I think it's cool. It's a great thing, but usually I try to avoid to use simple things, as I said. But maybe I have to improve better in my lexical resources.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that.
Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to share my feedback with you now. There we go. Okay, so yeah, generally for fluency and cohesion, I liked how your answers were, appropriate length in part one. They weren't, like before, they were very like long, and now they were more appropriate. Yeah, I think your length of answers were definitely better, and then you gave more details for part three. We actually ran out of time for part three. So yeah, normally they would have asked you two or three more questions for the other topic. Yeah, so I generally thought you were able to speak at ease. Funnily enough, I thought your fluency in part three was a lot better than in part two. So in part three, when you were dealing with more abstract questions on the spot, you were able to give very, detailed answers without a lot of hesitation, repetition, self-correction.
Yeah, it's more that you always have something to say if about abstract questions and something comes to mind. But when you have to say, like for example, the child thing, sometimes it's difficult because you have to answer to some questions, and sometimes it's hard to think. Okay, what can I say?
Yeah.
So I feel it. Yeah, I feel like that.
So what you could do to address that, like the pauses in part two, is have some phrases to transition. Like when you did the grid, have some phrases to transition from each section. Okay. You can say something like, moving on to talk about, or something like following this, or like these phrases that help everything run smoothly between when you're going from describing the child to how to each of the bullet points. You can use these phrases just to smoothly transition.
Okay. I think one of the longest pauses it was after I said everything that was written in my notes. I replied to all the how often you see, how you feel when you are with him, and then I finished it, but I had to continue describe the thing because the time was going. So it's more like, okay, I have to say something. So that's the pose.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, and there's two way around that. Like running out of things to say. Either you can make sure that you write more than you would in the planning stage. So, writing extra things, just say you finish early, kind of writing, okay, just in case, like just say you finish planning at 40 seconds, just in case, then maybe you write 2 more keywords for you just in case you run out of time. That's one thing. And yeah, I think the other thing is just be prepared to potentially, finish talking before you imagine, and then just practicing extending one of your answers.
Okay.
So like, just say you finish on, finish on the last bullet point, then just practicing, what else can I say? Imagine you're imagine you're, I don't know, talking about this to someone that you know, like if there's like an awkward silence between you.
You have to speak.
Yeah, you have to speak, right? So just imagine that situation. Imagine what you would say to continue the conversation, or like telling a story.
Okay.
So yeah, I recommend to students just to basically, keep, make sure they're doing at least 1 to 2 minutes. You can just keep on talking until they stop you, or you can do it. I guess you can stop just before 2 minutes as well. If you stopped at one minute, technically it's 1 to 2 minutes for that. But yeah, I recommend giving the examiner a longer sample of language to judge.
Sure.
So I liked how you used "it's an interesting question" to buy yourself thinking time for one of the part 3 questions, I think it was. But I would say that's an interesting question. So just changing it to that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was very nice. So I liked how you used that to buy yourself some time there. You can use more of those if you want. There's loads you can say. For example, you could say, "Oh, I've never thought about that issue before." Or
they sound so fake to me.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah, but sometimes they are true, so I say it. But or I need time, so I just say. But
yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be like forced in an awkward way. Like you can just say something that you'd say in conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Like like, all right, yeah, that's quite a complex issue. I might say that in a conversation. So
sure.
Yeah, also try not to sound forced as well, because otherwise it will sound like you've memorized it.
Sure.
And you can practice the delivery of it to make it sound natural as well. So range of vocabulary, I noticed some nice words, collocations, collocations, the words that are commonly found together, some nice, more unusual collocations. Well, not that unusual, but, just nice examples. Central neighborhood was one, small family business, nowadays, nice way of saying, instead of just saying now, saying nowadays. Asian countries, I put that up here because that was all nice. I guess this would go under lexical accuracy. So you said one of the first travel I did was, what was the correction here?
Can I say trip?
Yeah, trip. So this is a very common mistake. Basically, travel. What kind of word is travel? Is it a noun or a verb?
A verb.
Yeah, and trip.
Okay.
What is trip? A noun or a verb?
It's a noun.
It's a noun. Yeah. So I think for part 2, I thought you could have used a wider range at times, a wider range of vocabulary. So at times I thought it was like quite. I just thought there was some examples where you could have like use more sophisticated terminology or words. So I think you said more or less quite a lot. Actually, that's okay, but you could have kind of varied that a little bit, kind of used a wider range there. You could say quite a lot or slightly less. These kind of phrases to expand a little bit. But no, generally I thought the range was quite good. I did notice a good wide range of phrases and vocab there.
Right.
All right, so range of grammatical structures. I thought you used a decent range there. I thought you had present continuous. We are restoring a bed and breakfast. Comparative, irregular comparative. Using better. This was Okay, so I thought the range was generally quite good. You were able to use complex sentences. So there were a few areas we could improve. These were a couple of small areas that I noticed. So I think this was like, when you said just spend time on computers, this was like just a separate sentence. So you finished the last sentence, and then you said just spend time on computers. So So it wasn't really like a full. What's it missing here? If you had that sentence in it, like what's missing from the sentence?
Yeah, maybe a contest, like just spend time on computers.
Who's doing the action?
Okay, like a subject.
Yeah. So we need the subject.
Like children. Nowadays, children just spend time on computer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. You just need to fill it in, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then, so when you were talking about your friend, you said he used to make things for older people than him.
Yeah,
and then you said like he made a family. So it was kind of like I don't know. It kind of sounded like you were comparing things to a family. So.
Okay. Yeah, it was like it was difficult to explain, and I understood it when I was saying it. So, like, it's one of the situation where complex situation where I put myself in. It was just like that. He had like I don't know how to say, older behavior, older habits.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you mean now. Yeah.
So as I said, to explain, he used to work when he was in high school. He was like 16 years old. He was already working.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. So he acted like an adult when he was younger.
Yeah. So it was like easy to think that it would be the first one to have a son.
Yeah. I totally get you now. Yeah.
Just because of that. Yeah, but yeah. I knew that I wasn't explaining well the concept.
Yeah. So you could say something like he acted like an adult when he was younger or something.
Yeah.
Would that kind of what you meant? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just have to keep it simple and so it'll be understandable.
Yeah. No, I understood what you meant from that, but yeah, and it's difficult, because like especially in part 3, that's dealing with abstract. The purpose is to try and challenge you, so you're not always going to be able to like explain what you mean. It's kind of seeing how you deal with those situations.
Sure.
Like a lot of native speakers, when they do the IELTS, they get like 7, sometimes a 6. English people from Australia. Yeah. It's quite surprising, but they actually get very low because the test is all what originated. Like the main purpose of it is to see if you're ready for university. So it's very like academic in the way they designed it. So like a lot of native speakers aren't able to talk, like, develop their ideas coherently and think about how to give examples. So yeah, that's just an interesting side note. Recently more than it used to be. I think here, I can't remember the error here, but I think it was to do with what you said before, so that's fine. This one was to do with where you put this into sentence. I think you put it year after year. You said something happens year after year and then something else. So it was to do with where you put it in the sentence, but I would put year after year at the end. So like this happens year after year.
Okay.
So I think you said something like this year after year happens. It wasn't that example. I mean, if you rewatch the video, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, just year after year, you can either put at the start of the sentence or at the end. So year after year, this happens. This happens year after year.
Okay.
Yeah. So year like I've just put that at the end. Okay, cool. So in terms of sounds, so I thought your pronunciation was clear. I didn't really have many difficulties understanding you. Your accent had minimal effect on intelligibility, as we say. Nice connected speech there, linking words well. There were just a couple of little things that I noticed. I think pronunciation is one of your strengths. I think it's improved actually from when we first had the first session.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, maybe just practicing talking as well. That's
just
helped.
Talking, yeah.
Yeah. Because maybe just listening as well to a native speaker. But yeah, so here are just a couple of few things. So how do you say this word?
With.
Yeah. So this sound, okay. Basically, let me just give you an example. Okay, so how do you say this? How do you say this word?
Thin.
Thin. Now I want you to put your hand to your throat and say it.
Thin.
Thin. Okay. Thin. And now just do the first sound. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now do say this word.
So with.
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 Do you feel a vibration in your throat?
With a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, you should. So this is basically the difference between this sound and this sound. They're the same, like you form it in the same way, but one is voiced. This one is voiced, and this one is unvoiced.
Okay.
So
thin. Okay.
Yeah, thin. So do it. So do it again. Say thin.
Thin.
Do you feel a vibration?
Vibrate.
No vibration.
Okay.
Yeah. Now say with.
With.
Do you feel the vibration?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference between and basically vibration, no vibration. So yeah, I think you did it without vibration, and you should have had the voice, the sound.
Yeah, maybe I think when I'm a little bit under pressure or doing the test, I just like say wrongly some words. My pronunciation messed up a little bit.
Yeah, so. I mean, but yeah, generally, I thought it was very clear. So don't beat yourself up over little things.
Okay.
Yeah, generally it was very, very clear. So another thing that I noticed is I think you were saying in the first part one of the biggest parks in Rome, but I didn't hear the S. So basically, what I heard was one of the biggest parking in Rome.
Okay.
So that's how important the S is there. That it can actually change the meaning of the whole word. Because I understood. I thought he meant like car parks. So I was thinking, what does he mean car park? But then I realized, must meant parks in.
Okay.
So just having that S would have
changed everything.
Changed everything, yeah. So yeah. And I guess it's like also if you said the biggest park in Rome, I guess it's not having the G sound at the end. So you know, this g. So parking Rome, parking Rome. Slightly, do you hear the difference there? Very slight.
Very slight, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it changes the whole meaning, right? You know, parking, parking. Okay, and this one was to do with the word stress. So where's the stress in this word?
I think situation.
Okay, so which syllable is stressed?
Situation. I think I don't know.
Okay, so first of all, what I suggest is clap out the syllables. So, situation, situation. How many syllables?
4.
Yeah, situation. Yeah, 4. Now, just say it like what I recommend to students is exaggerate the way you say it. So, you know, say it how you would, but you know, make the stressed one longer.
Okay, so I think it's the second one, like on the U.
Situation.
Situation. Because I know how to do it in Italian, but in English it's more difficult.
So what I recommend, how students can figure this out, is try stressing every syllable, right, and see which one sounds best.
Situation. I don't know.
Okay, so let's try. Let's try the first syllable. Situation.
Okay. So
okay. Situation. Situation.
Okay.
Situation.
Yeah.
So which one is correct?
The third.
Yeah, the third.
So situation.
Yeah. Asian. Yeah. So that's a good way to just check the stress yourself. Is just practice that. Just try stressing each one. Be like, okay, which one sounds the best? And this one.
I think it's respect.
Yeah.
Respect. No.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. So which one? First or second?
Second.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The second. Respect. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Nice one. Do you have any questions about anything we just did or any?
No, not so much. No,
Okay.
I think pretty clear.
Cool. So when's your exam programmed?
It will be on the 12th of January. So that's the last week.
Wow. Okay. So coming up to the exam pretty soon.
I scheduled the lessons for tomorrow.
Perfect.
And also on Thursday and Friday.
Cool.
So we have 4 lessons that week. And another one on Monday, the day before the exam.
Perfect. So it's just at the last hurdle now.
Yes.
So I think for homework before the lesson tomorrow, you can do the writing task 1, like all those exercises, and check your answers, and just make sure that write down any questions, anything you're not sure about to go over in the class.
Sure.
Also, I think it would be good to do another reading and listening before your exam, right?
Sure.
To just and also to maybe have a look at. I'm just trying to think, because if we do a listening and reading, it'll be good to sort of analyze, maybe go over quickly any questions that you're finding difficult, like if there's any question types, because we have mainly focused on writing and speaking, obviously because you haven't had much time and they're the main areas you needed to work on. So I mean, maybe you could just do a reading and listening like tomorrow, maybe. Yeah. Would you have time?
For tomorrow I can do it. I think I can do it.
Okay, yeah. Because then we can, see where you're at, like what kind of, what score you're getting, where your weaknesses are, and then work on any questions you find difficult quickly. Address any question types you find hard just before the actual exam. Cool. So I'll upload I mean, for the reading, I guess you can do one from IELTS 7, and I'll upload the audio to the folder. So yeah. So yeah, I guess your homework is writing task 1 exercises, a reading, and a listening.
Also because I can check the errors by myself, so it's faster, and I can like just make notes about what are the difficult types of exercises for me.
Yeah,
so,
you can check your work and then write down anything difficult or any questions you have as well. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
For speaking, it's more difficult. To check what I miss, what I got weakness. So
definitely, you need feedback for that. Yeah. Or you can to some extent though. Like you can also record yourself and sort of like listen back and use the criteria to judge, but it's harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely harder.
I should make the question, the answers.
Ask yourself. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to try.
Yeah, be the examiner. Yeah. Cool. Okay, Antonio. So you got quite a lot to do today, but good luck with everything. And do we have a lesson? So we have a lesson tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. Perfect. All right. So I'll catch you tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too, mate. See ya. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.